Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and I'm the Knitting PT here on YouTube and on Instagram. You can find me sharing maker self-care reels for any people who craft with their hands, primarily knitters, crocheters, spinners, that kind of thing. And I share them over on Instagram, over here on YouTube. I also offer virtual ergonomic consults through my website, as well as selling on-demand videos that teach you how to take care of various parts of your body and walk you through exercise routines. And I also sell wrist and hand care kits and massage balls and all sorts of other things to help you take care of your body. Everything I'm talking about will be linked in the description box below, including links to my website, my Patreon, my Ko-Fi, my Ravelry page, and I will also include links to all the patterns I talk about today. The one thing I won't be linking is all the yarns I used. I will mention them when I go over every make, but I won't be linking them individually. If you have any questions about what yarn I use, you can use my Ravelry pages, or you can drop a comment in the video down below and I will respond and let you know. So this is the annual Everything I Knit in 2023 video, and there's quite a lot of things, as you can see from the thumbnail picture, so let's dive right in. All right, so let's get started. I have not tallied up everything I made. We'll probably do a final tally at the very end of everything, but I know it's well over 20 objects that I've made. I don't have everything with me because some of them were gifts, some were sample knits, but I will be popping pictures up here so that you can see them. Yeah, so the first thing I finished in 2023 was actually a gift knit, so I do not have it anymore, but I will put a picture up here. And I'll be looking down my computer to reference my notes. And it is the Daisy Vest by Irene Lynn. I made this as a gift from my mom, and I used Camellia Fiber Company in her merino sport base. And the colorways I used were Moonflower for the main color, the white, and then the contrast colors were Thistle, which is the purple, and Camellia, which is the light pink. This vest was definitely a labor of love because it was a daisy stitch throughout the entire thing. So it just took a long time. I believe, I'm looking at my notes, I started in October and I finished it in January. So it took, over 2.5 months. And, it's a vest, has no sleeves. It was sport weight also. So yeah, but it looked really nice in the end. It was a great accomplishment. What else to say? For each make I go over, I'm going to try to say a little bit more rather than just telling you what I made. I'm going to kind of maybe cover would I knit this again, how does it fit, things like that. So with the vest, since I made it for my mom, I don't really have any fit feedback. It fit her fine, just fine. Would I make it again? No, because the daisy stitch is just, it's not a stitch for me. Like, I'll do it for small projects, but doing it for an entire vest was a lot. It was a lot. So no, I would not make this again. All right, the second project of the year is the Purpurea, which I'm wearing right now. And I forgot to say this also, but I will be trying on every make that I can to show you the fit, because when I'm watching other videos, I find it very helpful to see how it looks on a body and to look at the fit and that kind of thing. And I thought it would be just kind of fun. I will say, if you see a weird, like, I don't know if you can see this, there's a weird bump here in the middle of my chest. That is my camera sitting there. I'm wearing a camisole underneath so that I can attach my camera to it. Just with all the changing and everything around, it was just easiest to do it that way. So just ignore that bump. So this is a Purpurea. It is a pattern by Teti Lutsak, who is Teti's Knit Garden. Stand up to show you. As you can see, it is a cabled sweater going all the way down. It has a split hem and plain stockinette sleeves. I knit this in J'adore Fibers Freya DK base in the colorway Baobun, or Baozi. And it's this beautiful, neutral, light, kind of like a blush, not blush pink. I don't really know, like a toasted kind of pink color, if you will. And yeah, so as you can see, my sleeves are different lengths. I did not do that on purpose. I think it was just, when I knit it, it just turned out that way. I have this issue sometimes with my sleeves kind of shrinking a little bit on me after they've been blocked, and that definitely did happen with this sweater. I remember that I think I was on a deadline to finish this. I wanted to wear this to VKL last year, and so I was rushing to kind of get it finished, so I did, I think, make the sleeves a little short, but I think it's okay. It is a warm sweater to a certain extent because of all the cables. There's a lot of fabric in the body. So I think the sleeves being shorter and kind of more bracelet, 3/4 length is all right. Yeah, I don't honestly reach for it very often. I don't wear it very often. I think part of it is that there are short rows on this, but I think I need more short rows because as you can see, it kind of creeps up my neck. So I do feel like I have to constantly tug it down. Fit wise, I think that I should have either, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should have knit a size larger just to get a more oversized look. But I'm kind of split on that because I do kind of like the way it looks on a more fitted silhouette. Maybe if the sleeves were just a little bit longer, I would feel different about it. I don't know. I did dig around in my leftover skein stash to see if I could find more of this colorway to knit the sleeves longer. I couldn't find any, so either the leftovers have gone missing or I actually didn't have any. Yeah. So this will probably just stay the way it is. I think it's fine. It's probably fine for, you know, a warmer winter day. Yeah, I mean, I've been wearing this for a few hours today and it's not bad. It's just the constant tugging down of the neckline, which this is not the only sweater I have to do it with, so I think I can live with it. So if I were to knit this again, I would probably incorporate more short rows into the back to raise up that back neckline so it doesn't pull back so much. Yeah, would I knit again? I don't know because I remember near the end it was getting really tedious to knit all the cables all around. Yeah, so I love the finish make, but I don't think I would knit again. And you know, when I say I won't knit something again, it's nothing against the designer or the pattern itself. It just has to do with my own personal feelings with how the project making went for me. So yeah, please take it that way. It's just like my own personal opinions on like the stitches and like that kind of thing. Like, you know, certain stitches aren't for me and has nothing to do with the designer or the pattern. So yeah. So just take everything I say like that. It's not any marks against the designers. All right. The third thing I knit was the Wave of Change jacket. This is a pattern by Denise Barron. And I'll stand up so you can see it here. You can kind of ignore what's going on underneath. And I knit this up in Woolberry Fiber Co. in the colorway Stash. And this is on the bulky base. So I ran out of yarn with this one. I did not purchase enough yarn. I think I was one skein short, probably. I think actually I could have maybe used 2 skeins to make it like longer. So it's quite cropped, as you can see. Like this is my waistline here. My hip bone is down here. So this is quite cropped. And the sleeves, as you can see, are not full length either. I would have preferred full length sleeves. Yeah. But it actually works fairly well. I also don't reach for it much just because my home is colder, on the colder side. So it having cropped sleeves doesn't really provide enough warmth. But I will say when I wore this to VKL also last winter and it was plenty warm in this. Like I was actually kind of glad that my sleeves were not completely long because it gave me a little more like breathing room. So if you were in a warmer indoor environment, it would have worked fine. Yeah. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I do want to knit this again and make like a long sleeve version and one that maybe isn't so cropped. I think I also had to knit my button bands thinner. The button bands should actually be thicker. They should be at least as thick as this top collar is. They should be, I think 2 inches is the width, and mine are clearly like 1/2 inch. And that was also because I was playing yarn chicken. So yeah. So yeah, fit-wise, it fits really well. It does. I have no complaints about the fit. As you can see, I have not attached any buttons yet. Does it even have buttonholes? I'm trying to remember. It doesn't have buttonholes, but I think it's written in the pattern to buy a certain kind of enclosure to go with it that don't require buttonholes. I don't remember. I think I bought them. Oh, it snaps. The pattern is written for snaps. Like you purchase those snaps and then it goes over. Clearly, if I did close mine, I think the fit would look strange. I think maybe I could do with putting a few snaps at the bottom so that it would kind of have this kind of look. That would be cute. Yeah, but I definitely do want to knit another one and knit a 2 pattern instead of playing yarn chicken. All right, the next item on my list is a hat. So this is the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. And as you can see, it's rib stitch and it's got these fun decreases, crown shaping at the top. This is knit in Woolberry Fiber Co. Tattered pages. And then if you look at the brim here, I'll unfold it all the way so you can see the entirety of the brim. There is a slight color change here, color variation added, and that is Ching Fibers Veranita in Atmosphere, which is a fingering weight, or maybe lace weight, 100% cashmere fluff. Not 100% cashmere, I'm sorry. It is 79% cashmere, 21% silk, yeah. It's not all the way through because I was using leftovers from another project, so I basically just knit it held together until I ran out and then continued on with just the Woolberry tattered pages. I'll put it on to show you. I love this hat. I made it last, let's say I finished it in February. I've been wearing it ever since when it's cold. It's really cute. Yeah, this is what it looks like on. The fit is really nice. I have a fairly large head. I knit the adult medium too. And I knit it so that I could fold it with a single brim. Would I knit it again? Yes, I would. I actually had plans to knit another one and just never got around to it. But I do have plans to at least knit another one for each of my kids. I want another one for myself also. So yeah, I really like this hat pattern. All right, next is the Downtown Hoodie, which is another pattern by Tori Yu. I test knit this for her, and the colorways I used were the blue is J'adore Fibers in Misty Mountains. I'm trying to let the camera focus. And the contrast color is Explorer Knits in Joshua Tree. And this is clearly a hoodie pattern. I really like it. This is the first time I made anything that was like a hoodie, and I really enjoyed it. Tori has excellent photo tutorials for how to make the hood and how to bring the drawstring through the knitted I-cord drawstring. Would I knit this again? Yes, and I do want to knit another one. I maybe want to do one in a solid color. And I think I would try to modify the hood to make it deeper, because again, I have a fairly large head. It's deeper. I think my head is kind of like deep this way. So the hood looks kind of small on me in a really funny way. So I would probably try to knit the hood a little deeper. Yeah. But I definitely want another one. I want a solid color version 1. And speaking of if I would knit things again and what I would change, if you don't follow Edible.Thoughts.Makes, Stephanie, she also has a YouTube channel. She is running a make-along starting from January, I think it's January 1st or 2nd, where the point of the make-along is to make something again that you've made already. So yeah, so now I'm getting lots of ideas for what I might cast on for my entry in her make-along. So go check her out, check out her video talking about the make-along if you haven't already. And if I remember, I'll link it down below too. Oh, and I'll stand up to give you the full view of how it looks. I knit it full length, as you can see. Yeah, it's super comfy. I really like it. It's a raglan construction. All right, next on the list is the Carlile Saddle. This is another test knit. This one was from Madison Moe, who is the designer of this pattern. It is a fingering weight saddle shoulder construction with I think it's called a broken rib detail down the front of the body and the back. And the sleeves are just stockinette, folded over collars and cuffs and hem. The colorway I used for this is from Cat Sandwich Fibers, Sweet and Spookier. And yeah, this one was definitely also a labor of love because it's fingering weight. It just took me a long time. I did not meet the test knit deadline either. I was late, but it's really comfortable. The only thing about the fit is that I need more short rows because again, it also comes up, it creeps up, and when it creeps up on me, it actually makes kind of like a fold at the top. A lot of the other testers had the same feedback. So Madison in the final pattern did incorporate more short rows, but by the time it was incorporated, you know, like I was already way past that part, and I was not going to rip back to fix it. So I was like, I'll just deal with it. yeah, but I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with the sleeves. The sleeves feel great, especially with the doubled cuff. It's super comfy. Yeah. Would I knit it again? I don't know. I love the look of the pattern, but it is fingering weight, so it does take a long time. I believe actually that Maddie is working on a DK weight version of these patterns, which I would knit that. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I go back and forth a lot about fingering weight full-length sweaters just because it definitely takes a long time. It is a labor of love, but fingering weight sweaters also drape really nicely. They fit really nicely. They feel really good. Yeah, like now that I have this on, which I haven't worn it in a little bit, now that I have it, I'm like, this is super comfy. Yeah. But would I knit this again? I think I would, but it would definitely take me forever to finish it. Like there are certain knits where like I need that test knit deadline to make sure I finish it in a timely fashion, or else it's going to be lingering on my needles for months and months and months on end. Yeah, but I do like this one. It is a really nice pattern. So check it out. There's also a raglan version of this same pattern where it's not saddle shoulder, it's a raglan shoulder seam, and that one looks really nice too. All right, the next make is the Bandana Cowl. This is a pattern by Pearl Soho. It is a free pattern, and I believe I made this after seeing Edible.Thoughts.Makes make a bunch of them during the knit along that Pearl Soho had. I made this for my husband to wear as kind of like a face buff for when he goes fishing and goes on long walks. Let's see. So I knit this holding two DK yarns together. So the two yarns are Life of the Long Grass, Aloe, which is the lighter green color here, and then the darker blue is Woolberry Fiber Coat Acadia, and it was a variegated colorway. So let me take this off to show you up close. So you can see it is a bandana. It has a V point at the end. This is what it looks like together. Yeah. Would I knit this again? Yeah, I would. It was a really quick knit, really satisfying. It's a really great way to use up like scraps of yarn or single skeins of yarn that maybe you don't know what to do with, or to hold together if you have a super variegated skein and you don't really know what to do about it. Yeah. All right, the next knit is the back to school vest. So here, you can see that creeping. Okay, back to school vest. This I knit for my daughter, and this is a pattern by Aimee, sher. I actually knit this as a, not really a preview, just kind of, because it wasn't really an official preview knit, but I knit it before it became a test knit. Aimee and I are good friends, and when she posted that she was working on this vest pattern, I just told her, oh, like my daughter loves wearing vests, like let me know. I'd love to test knit for you when it comes out. And she had said, oh, you know what, it's not going to be ready for test knitting for quite a while, but if you are okay with having the unfinished kind of, pattern, like go for it. So I did. So it is a little vest, as you can see. One of the buttons came off, so I need to fix that. This I did in Woolberry Fiber Co. Haven't You Heard? In the fingering weight base, but I held it double to get a more DK worsted gauge. Yeah. And it fits my daughter really well. I believe that in the final version, Aimee did lengthen the armholes a little bit longer just to accommodate for more growing for kids. Yeah. As you can see, there's a little bit of pilling on it already because she did wear it a lot last winter. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I love knitting little kid vests. All right, the next knit is my sheep camp sweater, and this is a pattern by Jennifer Berg, and it is a super striking colorwork yoke, as you can see. I knit this in Jador Fibers in her Luminous DK base. The main color is Stormy, which is this beautiful deep blue, and the CC color is Mint Condition. And this is one of my favorite makes from this year. I knit the body just to kind of a little bit below my hip bone. Yeah, and it fits really well. The only modification I made was I omitted one of the motifs. This motif, I omitted one of them just because I didn't want my yoke to be super deep. So I just kept trying on the yoke until I got to there, and then I eliminated one, basically. Yeah, Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I absolutely would. I really love this pattern. I love how striking it is, and but at the same time kind of simple, you know? And yeah. All right, next up we are getting into summer and spring wear. So this is the Moonset Tea by Ozetta. And it is a fingering weight drop shoulder tee with a V-neck. As you can see, I love the polished look of this V-neck band. You knit it kind of as you go to it, like you don't pick up the stitches afterwards. Yeah, and I knit this in Woolberry Fiber Co. and this is the colorway Swan Lake. Yeah, and the fit is really good. If I were to knit this again, I would actually shorten the sleeves here. I think it would look a little bit nicer on my frame. The sleeves were a little shorter. Yeah. And would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I actually had plans to knit one in black, just for something that's like a little dressier looking. So I had plans to knit one in black in Knitting for Olive's pure silk base, so that it's like also breathable, summer wear, that kind of thing. I already have the yarn for it. I just need to cast it on. Maybe I'll do that this summer. Yeah, but I absolutely would knit this again. All right, next in the tees, this is the Slightly Sassy V by Aimee Sher. I also test knit this one for her. It is a tee. As you can see, it is a compound raglan, which means that it follows the curve of your shoulder better, and it's not just like a straight raglan with increases every other row. The increases are staggered to mimic the curve of your shoulder more, so that you don't have as much fabric underneath your armpits. As you can see, it fits really well. There's a kind of like an I-cord edging here, and it's called Slightly Sassy because it's not too deep, but deep enough. I don't know. Yeah, like when I wear this, I don't need to wear camisole underneath to get coverage, which I really like. I do not like to wear an extra layer underneath my spring and summer knits because to me that defeats the purpose of having a summer knit that is breathable if you have to wear another layer underneath. So this one kind of fits all that criteria for me, where it is modest enough for my taste, but still like airy. I don't know what I'm saying. I knit this in Little Skein in the Big Wool in the colorway Hester Gray's Garden. And yeah, would I knit this again? Yes, I would. Okay, next up, this is the Morning Ritual top. This is a pattern by Olga Putano. And I knit this in the top is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Rhubarb Juice. And the bottom is in Tote Matin in their cotton base, which is 50-50 merino cotton. And this is the colorway Toulouse. As you can see, there's a color work in the middle that transitions the two colors. I really like it. Fit-wise, it fits really nice. As you can see, there's that extra fabric here that the Slightly Sassy doesn't have with the compound raglan. I mean, this isn't a raglan, it's more of a drop shoulder anyway. But I mean, the extra fabric doesn't really bother me. What else to say? The only thing I would change about this is the neckline is a little tight for me. Like I have to really I kind of have to tug it over my head to get it down. Part of it could be just the shape of my head, honestly. The other part could be the yarn I chose because silk doesn't really have a lot of stretch and give to it. I did try to bind off as loosely as I could without making the neckline look super wavy. Yeah. Would I make this again? I would. It was a really fun knit. It was really pleasant and I really liked it. And I think, you know, having the color work in the middle is something that kind of sets it apart from other designs. All right, next on the list is the Miles shirt jacket. And this is a pattern by Ozetta. And this is an oversized shirt jacket, basically. I'll stand up so you can see the whole thing. It has a beautiful curved hem along the bottom, a double folded over collar here. Yeah, and I love it. And it has pockets. Would I knit this again? Yes. I actually already have yarn to knit another one. This is my most worn make of the year, by far. Like I wear this almost daily. As you can see, it's super oversized. I believe the ease on this is like 12 to 13 inches. So even when I'm wearing like a DK worsted weight sweater, there is room for me to still throw this on. As you can see, there's lots of room in the sleeves. I can throw this on as an extra layer. In the fall, in the early winter, I actually wore this a lot outside as my extra jacket layer. Yeah, it's just super cozy. I really love it. Yeah, like I want a million more of these, basically. It's just super comfy. it's super comfy. And I think the curved hem really just elevates it to make it a little bit more special too. Yeah, I love this shirt jacket. I really do. It is, yeah, literally the most worn thing that I've made in 2023. It's probably the thing I've worn the most in 2023 since I finished it. Just because it's the perfect extra layer. Like I keep this in my office. My office is quite cold. So I keep it in my office to throw on as an extra layer whenever I need it. As you can see, it's gotten so much wear that it is pilling. I do need to depill it. Yeah, but I love it. I'm planning to cast on another one soon. I don't think I would change anything about it, to be honest. Like, I love the length of it. I love the oversized length, the oversized fit, so I would just knit it exactly the same again. Yeah. Oh, and the yarn I used. This is Durum Natura Gilead? I don't know how to say it. But it is actually a DK weight base. So Durum Natura Gilead is like a woolen spun. So there's more like air, and the yarn is like airier, so it holds more warmth in it too, and it's lighter, which I really like for such a large oversized garment like this. I happen to have this in my stash, didn't have any plans for it yet, and so I swatched it, and I liked the way the fabric was, so I went with it. For my next one, I am going to use Aran weight version of this yarn, which is Serrano, just to get like a thicker fabric, because when it is really windy, I can feel the wind kind of blow through a little bit. Like if I hold it up here, you can kind of see, if I really stretch it, you can kind of see the slight, holes through the fabric. So I just want like a heavier version. Gilead for me is not next to skin soft. Like as I'm wearing it right now with short sleeves on, it doesn't feel bad at all. But I know that if I were to wear this as a sweater pullover on top of like my torso, it would probably itch me, I think. I don't know. Maybe the more I wear, the more I'm used to it. So I don't know. We'll see. Like it would be lovely if I could wear this next to skin soft because it is like super light, and it would be great to make like bulkier weight sweaters or Aran weight sweaters that aren't heavy because this fabric that it comes out with is so light in nature, but warm too. Yeah, and this colorway is Tempête, the deep navy blue. All right, next, this is the Summer Saunter Tee by Samantha Guerin. This is also a test knit. I knit this in 100% linen in Camarose Love Tan Organic Linen. And this is a colorway Ox. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's this pretty honey gold. And you can see here the neckline has this eyelet kind of detail with an I-cord. This is, again, another V that I can wear without needing another layer underneath. I really like it. I also wore it a lot during the summer because it's 100% linen, so very breathable. The hem, as you can see, is a, what are they called? Like a folded over hem. Also in the sleeves. I really like the fit of this. This one I've got about 5 inches of positive ease on it, so it's like nice and airy and breathable. What I knitted again? Yes, I also have yarn for it to knit again. I purchased a cotton base, I believe. I forgot what the yarn was exactly. Maybe it was cotton maroon. I don't remember. It's back here somewhere. But I want to try in a cotton base because the linen is so drapey. It did kind of grow a lot and kind of pull down a lot. As you can see, the body is quite long, and I would like one that is like slightly shorter, maybe to here. That could go well with like skirts and over on top of a dress too. Yeah, but this one works out just fine too, but it is like a little bit long. It did drag a little bit long just because of the linen drape. Yeah, but also highly recommend this pattern. All right, next, this is the Plenty Loon Tea by Alicia Plummer. And I also test knit this. This is done in Moondrake Fua Fua, which is a fingering weight, actually more lace weight. It's 70% cashmere, 30% merino. So very light and fluffy. As you can see with this one, I do kind of need to wear camisole underneath for some coverage if I choose to. And it's got a kind of slight cable detail with some garter stitch throughout. This tee is like super light and airy. Like I barely feel like I'm wearing anything when it's on. Yeah. The fit is great, honestly. Yeah. Nothing to say about the fit. Would I knit it again? I think I would. I would try maybe a different fiber that's less transparent looking, like maybe if I'd done a darker color, or I might try like I think I would try it in regular fingering weight, maybe. I don't know. But this is like super cute. Like I can throw this on over a dress, and because it's so light, it doesn't, feel like it's adding a lot of additional warmth, even though it is cashmere and merino. Yeah, but it is really cute. All right, next, this is the Building Blocks Cardi by Aimee Sher. And this is a drop shoulder cardigan, and it is knit bottom up. Stand up to give you full view. I knit it with a split hem, and I knit it with short sleeves. There are different views. A lot of Aimee's patterns have different views where you can do long sleeves, short sleeves, different kinds of hems and hem lengths, and you can kind of play around and make your own adventure with them. This is knit in Pearl Soho's Hedgerow base, which is a 93% merino, 30% cashmere, 3% bombyx. One, I think the bombyx is some kind of silk, like a mulberry silk. As you can see, it has a tweedy look to it. This yarn is not next to skin soft for me, so I knit this to be a layering piece. Like right now I can feel it prickling my arms. So I wear this over like long sleeve shirts and that kind of thing. The hedgerow base is also very light and lofty, which I like. So this cardigan really doesn't feel heavy at all. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. I would probably maybe try a long sleeve version next time. Yeah, but I would definitely knit this again. All right, this is the Patchwork Pullover, and this is a pattern by Claire Jackson, who is perfectly knotted on Instagram. This is knit in a variety of Woolberry Fiber Co. yarns from her Anne of Green Gables collection that she did in 2022. Yes, 2022, and then, yes. Yeah, so these are all Anne of Green Gables colors. As you can see, it is patchwork. It is an intarsia pullover. And this was my first intarsia project. It was not as hard as I thought it would be. Yarn management was a thing, but as long as you keep everything, as long as you just keep moving your yarns, you'll save yourself in the long run instead of having tangled messes. Okay, so we'll just put it that way. But Claire's pattern is very clear and very easy to understand. You can use however many yarns you want. Like I opted for 5 colors of the blocks, and then in her pattern it's actually supposed to be that the sleeves and the hem and cuffs are the same color. I didn't have enough. I only have 1 skein of each color, so I just did sleeves 1 color and then the cuffs and hems all 1 color instead. Yeah, and I think it turned out really well. This project was really fun to kind of throw together color combinations. You can see there's a lot of colors in here I typically don't wear, like the oranges. I don't really wear orange at all. But it looks really nice, like put together, and this is very wearable for me to have it in little spots all over. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. This is a really great project for any single skeins you might have. I tend to be a collector of single skeins for some reason. And so this was a great way to use up a bunch of my single skeins. Like this used up 7 skeins. Like it didn't use up all of 7 skeins. Like I definitely have a good amount of each skein left over, but it's a good way to incorporate them into a project, yeah, so I would knit this again. I do have plans to knit another. I haven't pulled any color combinations for it yet, but I would knit this again. All right, next, this is another test knit for Tori U. This is Skyline Pullover, and as you can see, it has this beautiful rib detail down the sleeve that continues from the shoulder, a saddle shoulder, and it's beautiful. It's very classy with a nice modern look to it. And I knit this up in Camellia Fiber organic fingering base in the colorway Love Camellia, held together with Ching Fiber Veronita in the colorway Blush. So as you can see, there's this kind of nice fuzzy halo to it. Yeah, it's super soft. It is warm too with the cashmere in there. Yeah, and I really like it. Would I knit this again? Yes, I would. And I would probably knit maybe like a darker, moodier version instead of this light, ethereal version I have here. All right, this is the Mercer Pullover by Mary Gannon. You can see it is a all over textured raglan. And this is knit in Wildwood Fibers Pearlescent. Wildwood Fiber is sadly no longer dyeing. She retired from dyeing earlier this year. Yeah, and you can see it's got these beautiful kind of balloony sleeves, slight balloon puff, and it's really comfy. It has a twisted rib detail. Would I knit this again? I would. Like, it's really nice. It's really classy for a texture pullover. It's a easy to memorize texture also, and I really like it. I really like the fit of it. So yes. All right, next, this is the Season Sweater by Ozetta. Knit a lot of Ozetta this year. This is a half fisherman's rib raglan pullover. This is knit in Wandering Flock in the colorway Montauk. Montauk? Yes, Montauk. And the fit, I really like the fit. When I blocked it, it became very oversized, and I had to throw it in the dryer to shrink it back up a little bit. The only thing is that my sleeves are a little shorter than I would like, and part of that is because I ran out of yarn. I was playing Yarn Chicken, and I ran out. So one sleeve is a little bit shorter than the other, but that's pretty much it. Like, I still really like it. It's a really comfy and classy pattern. Would I knit it again? I think I would. I love the look. So I have a love-hate relationship with half fisherman's rib. I really, really love the look and the feel of the final fabric, but it's a slog to do sometimes. And, you know, I prefer knitting half fisherman's rib in the round, which this is. I've done a cardigan for half fisherman's rib before, and I really didn't love the process of knitting it flat. So I feel like if I would knit this again, I would, and I would just make sure I have a lot more yarn than I think I need. All right, here we are, another test for Tori Hugh. This is the Highline Henley. It is a Henley, as you can see, and I knit mine in a striped fade. And the colorways I used, this is Camellia Fiber Company Earl Grey, and the faded blue is J'adore Fibers in her Under the Sea fade set. And this pattern is lovely. As you can see, it has this beautiful shoulder short row shaping detail. Would I knit again? 100%. I actually want to knit a low contrast version one. Like, this is quite high contrast, but I want to knit a low contrast version. So we'll see. I had another idea for low contrast, but then I used one of the yarns for another project, which I'll show you. So can't do that anymore, but I clearly probably have plenty of options behind me to pull a low contrast version. Yeah. So I really do like this pattern. It's a very different neckline. It's great if you don't like crew necks, but want something a little wider, but that isn't like a V. This Henley is beautiful. The placket here is really nice. Yeah, so I would knit this again, 100%. All right, so this is another test knit for Aimee Sher, and this is the Weekday Pullover. This pattern is not out yet. It will be out in January. So I will link to her website below where you can find it when the pattern is released. I will also be sure to mention when it's released on my next podcast episode, whenever that is. So this is the Weekday Pullover. Again, this is one that has multiple views. So you can either do a dress, a short sleeve, a long sleeve, a dress, or a pullover. And I opted for the pullover. This one I knit in Woolfolk Luft, which is a kind of more, it's like a bulky weight, but you can, it has more play with what gauge you can knit up in. It's also a very light yarn. So it is 55% merino, 45% Pima cotton. What it is that it's a Pima cotton tube that they blow the merino yarn through. Okay, so let me try to give you a close-up of how that looks. There you go. So you can see it has a slight fluff halo to it. It's very warm, very light. There's a beautiful cable raglan detail. Yeah. And I really like it. Would I knit again? Yes, I would. All right, next on my list of finished objects, which I do not have with me right now. I have them. They're just somewhere in the house, and I can't be bothered to find them. But I will insert footage here of me wearing them. I call them the Lord of the Rings self-striping socks because the yarn is from Valkyrie Fibers. It is her high twist BFL sock, and it is one of her Lord of the Rings colorways. And the pattern I used for this was the Sock Exploration Shadow Wrap Heel by Denise of Earth Tones Girls. And I knit these cuff down, and they were my first foray back into socks after taking quite a long hiatus from making socks. They were my first time doing cuff down after always doing toe up socks. So would I knit these again? Yes, I would. But changes I would make, I would cast on less stitches because my finished socks are a little bit they have less negative ease than I would want. Like I like my socks to fit really snugly. I don't like it when they slip around on my foot. And these definitely are just like a tad too large. So next time I will cast on, I cast on 64 stitches this time. I would maybe cast on like 60 next time or maybe even 56. I don't really know. As for whether I would do them cuffed down again, the jury's still out on that. I haven't made up my mind. Yeah, someone had suggested in one of my videos an alternate kind of cast on for toe up, aside from Judy's Magic Cast On, which is what I typically did for toe up socks. So I think maybe the next pair I might try their suggestion for that cast on and see if I like that. And if I do, then maybe I'll return to toe up because I really do like the process of being able to try on your sock as you go. It just makes me feel more confident in having a better fit. I think I might also go back to doing anatomical toes, which is where your increase or decreases, whatever for the toe, are not symmetrical. They're more shaped according to the shape of your foot. Yeah, so I might go back and do those things for my next pair of socks just to try to customize them more and make the fit a little bit better. All right, the next finished object I also do not have. It was a it was a gift knit for my daughter's teacher. It is the classic rib tat by Pearl Soho. I will insert a picture here. I knit this in Pearl Soho's Cashmere Merino Bloom base in the colorways Warm Honey and Night Blue. I knit this adult small size. Would I knit this again? I would. It was really kind of nice knit to have on the go with me. And yeah, but I think actually in terms of ribbed hats, I still prefer the silhouette of the Manhattan hat to the silhouette of the classic ribbed hat. But I think I would actually make the classic ribbed hat as a gift for other people because, you know, maybe people don't like the kind of silhouette on the Manhattan hat because it is a little bit more like of a different shaping instead of like a regular like crown. Yeah, but I did like this hat and I did like making it. Okay, so the next knit I also do not have on hand. It was a sample knit for Explorer Knits and Fibers for their upcoming monochrome collection. I won't be showing any pictures here yet. I'm going to wait for her to be releasing the colorways from her monochrome collection before I show it here on the podcast. I did show a sneak peek of it in one of my previous episodes, so you can go look if you really want to see what it kind of looked like. But I'm not going to reveal the final look of it until Allie does so herself. But it is the Koi pullover, and it was one of the patterns that the Wandering Clock put out this year. It is an Intarsia V-neck pullover. As you can see, it has some blocks. I'll put up the picture from the pattern so that you can see what it looks like. Would I knit this again? I would. It was a really fun knit. It was a different way of doing Intarsia compared to the Patchwork Pullover, so I did enjoy that process of like learning another skill. Yeah, and I think it's a fun way to kind of play with color and maybe put in some bolder splashes of color that maybe you don't want to wear as a full garment, but you want to insert it a little bit into your garment. It's a fun way to do that and to play with color. All right, the next project I also don't have on hand because it is somewhere in my daughter's room. And so I will go find it and I will take kind of some videos of it to show here. But it is Aggie the Sheep. And this is a pattern from the Moosh and Friends book by Cynthia Valet. And it is a softie, like a stuffed toy. And she's a little stuffed lamb. She's got a really pretty dress and a loopy vest and a drawstring bag. And she's just really darling, really cute. Would I knit these again? I would. I didn't think I would enjoy knitting a stuffy toy as much as I did. But I already have another one cast on, this time for my son, and I do want to knit through the entire book and kind of make every single animal in there. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I would do it again. All right, we are here at the final make of 2023. This is another test knit, and the pattern will be out also in the new year. Probably, I think, early February? No, end of January. I'm trying to remember when it's due. This is the Syncopated Stripes sweater. This is by Hannah from Sandmade Knits. As you can see, it is an all-over striped sweater. The stripes are done using like mosaic knitting slip stitching, so they're not actually stranded color work. So you're only using one color at a time, which is really nice. I knit mine to be quite oversized with long sleeves, super cozy. This is all knit in Explorer Knits and Fibers yarn. The main color is fur. The three contrast colors are Velvet, Snout, and Avenoir. Yeah, and this is a moodier version. So the stripes aren't super high contrast, but they're just all kind of moody and I really love it. I'm not going to say much more about this pattern because it's not released yet, but it is my final make of 2023 and I am really happy with it. I'm super happy with the fit and how it came out. It's actually the oversized look I wanted, so I'm really happy with that. Super happy. Right, so here is my final stats roundup of 2023. So in 2023, I knit 27 total objects, which is a lot. It's more than I knit last year, I believe. But I think last year I knit way more sweaters than I did of other accessories and other little things. So 27 total knits. Out of those 27, 21 were adult garments. That includes, cardigans, vests, pullovers. There was one kid knit. There was one cowl, two hats, one pair of socks, and one toy. And when it comes down to yarn I used, the yarn I used most was Woolberry, which is not a surprise because I am in the collective, so I do get a lot of yarn from her. So 6 of my projects use Woolberry Fiber Co. yarn, and 4 of my projects use J'adore Fibers. That was the runner-up. All the other yarns I used either were from other dyers or other companies, but I maybe only knit 1 or 2 projects out of them. So the yarn most used was Woolberry. And in terms of designers, so the designers I knit the most in 2023, this is tied. I did 4 patterns from Aimee Sher and 4 patterns from Tori Yu. And that lines up because they're absolutely 2 of my favorite designers and 2 of my favorite designers to test for too. As you can see, I did a lot of Tori tests near the end of the year because she just kept coming out with like really great patterns. So yeah, so that is everything I knit in 2023. I really enjoy doing these videos just to kind of look at what I did in the past year and to remember because, a year can be kind of long. You can kind of forget what you worked on earlier the year. It's really nice to just see a roundup of everything. And it's really nice to kind of look at, what did I use? Who did I knit? And things like that. I just find it really interesting. And I hope you find it interesting too. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought, if there's any patterns that you also knit or anything that you are interested in knitting now that you've seen it. I will be doing a separate video with my 2023 goal wrap up because I did set goals for the year of 2023. So we'll be going over whether I met those goals or not. And then I will be talking about my intentions for my making in 2024. So I will see you all then in that video and Happy New Year. Happy knitting.